Hello and welcome to today's webinar, Save Time with Campaign Builder in Constant Contact. Thanks for joining today. I hope everyone is having a good new year. Before we dive into our session, I wanted to give you an overview of all of the different marketing tools that Constant Contact offers, especially since we'll be talking about how to use these together today in a multi-channel campaign using our multi-channel campaign builder. So to start, we have our email marketing tool to create great looking email marketing campaigns. You can automate your email marketing with our email automation tool, and you can automate your text message marketing as well. And then we have list growth tools to help you grow your contact list to give you people to reach out to, plus digital ads for Google, Facebook, and Instagram. You can grow your list from those as well and just get your name out there. And then we also have something we'll be talking about today along with email is our social media posting tools. So you can post to Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and LinkedIn through our platform. And you get some analytics and things like that. So we'll see how that all integrates together. And then we'll also talk about the SMS text marketing. So email, text, and social, kind of how to bring that all together in your account and create a marketing plan for the new year. So we have all these different tools and features all in one place, and let's dive in and see how this all will come together. Now, like many of the small businesses and nonprofits we know, you know that you need to be doing more with your marketing. And this is a good time to do it. Beginning of the year, really set out on the right foot and get your plans in place. But a lot of times you may be too occupied by other responsibilities, especially coming out of the holidays. You probably had a lot going on. So it may have kept you from, really diving into your marketing. And you're not alone. More than half of small businesses admit to putting off their marketing just because they don't have enough time. A few more stats to share. Only 16% of small businesses feel confident they're using the right marketing channels to reach their customers. 81% do acknowledge that multi-channel campaigns lead to better results. And then 60% cite lack of time or even lack of knowledge as an obstacle preventing them from using multiple marketing channels. So, like I said, that's why we're here today. I'm going to show you a really easy way to build a multi-channel marketing campaign in your account with our Campaign Builder tool. So it's an AI-powered tool. You fill in some information about your business, your goals, and it'll generate a fully customized campaign for you with content and then the different channels you want to use, email, social, and text. And it's a really convenient and quick way to get started with your marketing this year. Now, here's more specifically what we're going to cover today, our agenda. We'll start out by discussing how each channel, social, email, and text, work together to move people closer to your business. And then how to harness the strengths of each of those channels. And then a lot of our time today will be a live demo in Constant Contact, going through this tool I've been talking about, and you can see all the different ways to bring this all together and create your multi-channel marketing plan. Before we fully dive in, just a quick introduction. My name is Caitlin. I'm a content manager for webinars here at Constant Contact. I've been here about 12 years, so I have a lot of experience with the platform and digital marketing. I'm excited to show you the ropes and bring my experience to the session. Now, if you have any questions, I'm here to answer those as well. So you'll notice on the right side of your screen, there's a tab that says Q&A. If you click over to that, if you have any questions, that's where you type that in. You won't see each other's questions, so if it's blank over there, that's why. But I'll see them all coming in, and I can answer them as we go through. There will be time at the end, but you don't have to wait till the end, especially during the demo. If there's something you saw you have questions on or things like that, I'm happy to help. But with all that said, let's dive in and we'll talk about how each tactic and channel works to move people closer to your business. And to start out this section, I actually have some stats to share as well, specifically about different marketing channels. So today we're focusing on social media, email, and text message. These are really the three main ways to communicate with your audience or potential audience. And they really do play an integral role in your marketing campaigns. So just some good stats here. First of all, email and SMS are the two most helpful communications when making a purchase. We have found 91% of consumers are interested in signing up for text messages. 56% of internet connected adults have multiple social media accounts. And then internet users spend a third of their time on social media on those multiple accounts. And then a cross-channel marketing approach is effective. It boosts average users' lifetime by 76%. So as you can see, people are online, they're on social media, they're in multiple places, they're looking to get communications from email and text. So that's why multi-channel marketing is so important, because you're reaching people where they are and where they're spending their time. So you may be wondering, well, how do I use all of these things together? We like to think of that as the party principle. The social media is going to be your big party. So you're going in, you're meeting new people, finding connections that could go deeper in the future. And then you can think of email as your after party. So you've found people that want to build a relationship with you. And they're saying, yes, I want to stay connected with you. And then from there, you can think of SMS or text message marketing as the VIP party. So these are people you really want to treat special because you're connecting with them in that more personal channel. All right, so we have that established here as a baseline. And I want to talk now about how to use that party principle to harness the power and strengths of each of these channels to create a campaign that's going to help you drive results. Starting with social media. So you want to use this when you want to get beyond the email and text lists. So you're looking to increase engagement, you're looking to reach new people, and you are doing it publicly online. Not everyone is going to see all your social media posts. There's algorithms and things at play there. So keep that in mind. It's just really good for driving awareness and engagement for your campaigns. And then email, that's where you can reach your audience directly. You can share more robust messages, longer text, more pictures and links. It's just good for if you need to add more detail to your message and campaign, email is perfect for that. And then text message, this is good for time-sensitive messages, offers, or even something that's exclusive. This is that VIP party we were talking about. And it's good for short messages because there are character limits with the text messages, and just really good for timely, exclusive communications. And another thing you can actually bring into the mix is events. So whether you have a fundraiser, a sale going on, a networking event, you can run an event as your end goal and then use these different channels to promote that event. Events are a really good way to build relationships and connect with your audience. So maybe you're looking to drive awareness to your nonprofit, to your cause. Events are good for that as well. As we get into this campaign builder tool in a bit, you can see we actually have an events platform as well. You can bring that into the mix along with the email, social, and text message. Now, before we dive into that, let's take a look at how to use all these different things together. So when you're using things in concert for a campaign. An example here is when we launched our SMS text marketing tool, we used a multi-channel campaign to promote it. So we started out on social media promoting an upcoming webinar we had on SMS marketing. And then we followed that up by email. So we have a hints and tips newsletter that we send out. So we were able to add some more detail and information about that webinar in our email and then reach that audience directly. And then here's an example of how you could use a text message to remind people about that webinar or event, or give them some sort of exclusive information about that campaign. Now, something to note with this is not everything you create or share will be an exact replica of each other. You're really using each channel's strengths specifically and strategically to maximize the results of your campaigns. All right, so we've talked a little bit about different channels, using them together, harnessing the strengths of the channels. Let's just dive straight into our demo so I can show you all the different tools we have to build these multi-channel campaigns. So let me make the screen a little bigger, and then we can pull up our account. And there's a few things I want to walk you through here. So starting out, before we can build out these campaigns, we really need to set up some branding for our account. If we have our branding in place, then it'll apply that to all of our different emails, and we don't have to worry about that in any campaigns that we're going to be working on. So I'm going to start out by going over here to Assets and pull up our brand kit. So with this, if you already have colors that are required for your brand, a logo handy, even some images, you can add those things manually to your account and then set up like a theme with that. Or even easier, you can have this tool scan your website and just scrape all that information off of there. So my website is filled in here. I have it saved in my account information, so that makes it super easy. But you can copy and paste in whatever website you want there. And then I'll click scan my website. And then it looks for all that information. So from here, it found a ton of colors, some pictures. Now I can go in and modify this. Maybe I want a different logo, so I'll uncheck that. I don't think I need all of these colors in my branding, so I'll just go through, maybe uncheck some ones I don't need. And then same with images. This is just a way to get some images from your website into your image library quickly, but you can always upload more images later. So I'll just take off the ones I don't need. And then here on the right side is where I can start taking some of these colors and building out this theme. After I go through this, I can get even more specific, but just to kind of look through some of the options here, there's light, there's dark. I'm going to go with, they're all pretty similar. This one, but then I want to make the background orange, and you can see all the colors that were scanned are in the color picker now, which makes it super helpful. So that looks good so far. Let's continue. Now we can get even more specific. I do need to save my logo. So let me come to the elements here on the left side, and I'll click here on logo and then add logo. It did upload it, but I just need to save it as the logo specifically. So we're going to be Jack's Backyard Barbecue today, a barbecue restaurant. Save that in there. Come back to my new theme. This is looking pretty good. You can see I can go through and change anything else I want to. Maybe this could be oh, it's probably too light. Maybe something like that. The rest of that looks good though. So now I'm set. So this is saved in my account. This is a preview of what my future email campaigns will look like in terms of colors and branding and logo and all of that. So that's going to make the rest of this process really easy because I won't need to update that moving forward. Now, if I do want to make tweaks on individual emails, I can. So I'm not stuck with anything, but this just gives you that good baseline. So now we're ready to build these campaigns. I've been talking about these multi-channel campaigns. So to get to that section, that'll be back up here on the left side on campaigns. And then once we're on this page, I'm going to click over to where it says multi-channel. And then this is where we'll be working today. So the very first thing you need to think about with this is, what are your goals? And I think this is a good thing to be thinking about in general this time of year, the beginning of the year, because there's something you want to work towards, this first maybe quarter of the year or whatever you're wanting to do. So I can choose the goal I want to work with here. But before I do that, I'm actually curious, what are your goals for this beginning of the year, next few months? If you want to share in the Q&A window, just where's everyone starting at right now? Maybe, there's some examples here on the screen. Maybe you're looking to collect donations, drive revenue, get more customers in the door, generate awareness, maybe just attract new customers. Let's see. Sarah's looking for some more foot traffic in the door. Josh has a beginning of the year promotion, a new product launching soon to promote. That's a good one for sure. Michelle says they have an event coming up in a few months and they want to get started early on promoting that. That's a good one as well. And then Carly says increased engagement. And so does Gian. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. Increase engagement. And Preeti says keep people informed and get engagement. Okay. Yeah. So it seems like we're all actually kind of in a place where you're looking to increase engagement from your audience. So that's a good goal. And that is one of the goals on here, which I think we could use that as an example to go through. But I'm going to start with attract new customers. I'm going to do two different examples so we can try both of those things. I think that's kind of where most people are leaning right now. So attract new customers. That is my goal. So then I'll click create. And I really just need to fill in a few pieces of information, and then this will all be created for me. So the first question it asks me is to describe my business. And I wrote something out ahead of time to make this easier. So I'm going to say Jack's Backyard Barbecue is a barbecue restaurant that serves brisket, ribs, and other favorites. We make our own barbecue sauce. We've been in business for 20 years. We're a local favorite. So you really just want to be clear and specific here. Provide relevant background information and context, especially as it pertains to your goal and your purpose. Maybe there's some keywords that you want to use to describe what you're trying to market. What do they need to know about your business? Who is your audience? Using complete sentences is good. And then you can always experiment with different phrasings and things as you're working through this. From here, we choose a time frame. So this is the amount of time the campaign will run. Usually 4 weeks is good. So that's what's filled in automatically for me. So this would start tomorrow and run through the beginning of February. If you do want to just maybe plan out, the first quarter, January, February, and March, you could extend that out a little bit. Whatever you want to do. You can make it less as well, but then it's going to generate less campaigns for you because there's less, time for it to run. Recommended channels. So it recommends using emails, social posts, SMS, and events You can uncheck any of these. Maybe if you're not signed up for our texting tool, you're not running events, you can do that. I'll leave all 4 checked just to give it some options here. And then the last thing is the industry. So barbecue restaurant is what we are. You can really type whatever you want in here and just choose the option that fits closest to what you do. And then you'll just click create. And then sometimes it'll ask one more question if it needs more information, which it looks like it does. So it says, what specific events, promotions, or products are planned during the timeline to attract new customers? For example, is there a specific barbecue promotion, event, new product launch? I'm going to say, we are offering a buy one, get one free brisket entree. Then I'll submit that. So from here, it's taking that information and it's going to build out this campaign. It'll write the content, it'll find stock images, and it actually gives specific suggested dates as well. So like actual days I should post or send the email or send the text message. And it does, as you can see, take 1 or 2 minutes. It'll run in the background. So if I did need to step away or maybe I want to exit out, you just do that up here. Maybe get a contact list uploaded so I can start scheduling things out right away. You definitely have that opportunity, but it's just pulling from our database of this was all built out by real marketing professionals with specific advice on timing and content and what works best for these specific goals. So I think it's almost done here. Here we go. It's loading up. Okay. So what we have here is our Jack's Backyard Barbecue Sale Event Promotion Plan. So it names it for you. I could rename that if I want, just here under the menu. Only you see that, so it doesn't matter too much, but if you want to maybe rename it Jack's Backyard Barbecue Sale Promotion Plan. Make it a little more concise. And then it gave us 3 emails, 1 event, and 4 social posts. So it summarizes that up here at the top. And then we can just scroll through and see. So it suggests January 6th, an email, a social post, and even an event. So it's putting something together with our events platform. And then it'll give it a name and even a little description. So this will explain, what this is. So this first email informs existing customers about the upcoming sale, leveraging their relationship, builds anticipation, makes sure our audience has all the necessary details. And then we have the 20th, so a sort of midway through email, social posts. And then the final week is an email and social post. So it looks like it's about every 2 weeks. It wants us to put something out there, which makes sense. I think that's a good frequency so far. From here, we want to go in and edit and schedule all these things. You can delete anything you're not going to use. And then it is really important to, edit this, make it your own. If you need to switch out pictures, change the phrasing, make sure the wording is accurate. Always a good idea with AI generated content. So let's go through one of each. And actually, it didn't create an SMS text message, it looks like. So that, for whatever reason, it didn't suggest, but I could add that in myself. So I see a question here from Viviana. I have a specific tour dates. How can I create a campaign? Yeah, I can show you how to change the dates for sure. You can adjust this to more specific dates. And there's other ways to add in multi-channel campaigns to this flow where you can also set a specific date. So I'll make sure to show that. But let's dive into this initial email and see what it created. So it wrote out our subject line. BOGO brisket deal. Our famous brisket is a must try, and now you can enjoy it with a friend for free. That sounds pretty good. Has another section talking about the brisket and another section with a coupon code, it looks like. Now, a few things I would want to do here. First of all, because I'm a restaurant, it shows some stock imagery for restaurants, specifically barbecue restaurants, which this is a nice picture, but I would want to include an image of my own food because if I'm not serving something like this, that might be misleading. So stock images may or may not be relevant to what you're doing. So if I wanted to switch it out, I would click over here to images, and maybe this is from our restaurant. So we could drag and drop that in and just quickly switch that out. This text is fully customizable, so I can click into any one of these text boxes and type what I want to say. All the formatting's here at the top. There's formatting here on the left side. If you want this rewritten for you, all text blocks also have a write with AI option. So I could just delete this, enter in a new prompt, and have it write something different. And I do see a question about, can you send SMS out of Constant Contact from Carly? Yes, you can do that. So I'll also make sure to show that. But just to kind of finish this up, I won't spend a ton of time on it for the sake of time, but maybe I want to keep this simple. So I can delete these two sections. And then it has some just extra space. Oop, let's undo that. I do want my social media buttons, but we'll delete some of these spacers. Just quickly do that. Okay, one more. That looks better. Now, something to keep in mind with this is you do need to put in your own links. So you didn't give it any links to include, which means you need to put in your own. So maybe for this button, instead of eat now, I could say view menu and then put in the link. It has a suggested link, which is jacksbackyardbarbecue.com. So maybe that fits. Maybe I have a specific page /menu. View menu. There we go. And I could go in, play with the colors. Lots of customization you can do. But I think this looks good. I would, of course, want to link up my social media buttons too. That's the other thing. So click into that. Add in your links. You can add other ones. Quite a few options here, as you can see. Shapes, layouts. I always recommend, especially if you're kind of newer to this, there are so many customization options for everything in here. It can get overwhelming. So I would almost like ignore some of this more technical stuff unless you are experienced in graphic design. Just, you don't want to spend too much time on this. It's easy to just dive in, and before you know it, you've spent an hour on a simple email. So what's nice about this is it gives you that starting point. I really just need to make some tweaks, which this seems fine. So then I would do a preview, send a test to myself, all of those good things. And then when I click continue, this is where I schedule it. So it will have the date filled in that it suggested, but this is also where I could put a different date. So it has the date, the 6th, but I just click right on that to change it. And I can change the time as well. Maybe 6 a.m. is a little too early to be thinking about barbecue. I could do like 11 a.m. and then just choose my list. You could add a new list. Select all lists, one list, and schedule it out. So that's an email. Carly has a question. The image library, do all users in your organization see the same photos or only the ones your profile uploads? So if I'm understanding your question correctly, when we're talking about the stock images, those are all pulled from the same place. So it's possible other businesses could have the same stock images as you in their emails. In terms of your own images, no one else will see those but you. So they're stored just in your account, and only people that can log into your account will see those. Okay, so email is done. So now we're here at this calendar and it's showing all of the different campaigns it made for us in a calendar view. And then you can see the one here that's scheduled. So from here, I could just click into any of the drafts and keep working. I also have my channel manager on the right side where I could hop between the different campaigns. Or I could just hop back to campaigns over here and come back to this view we were looking at. So a few different ways to continue to work on this. Let's look at a social post next, maybe the final push one. See what it made for us here. If you're not familiar with our social tool, I mentioned this earlier, but we can post to TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn all through our platform. Some of these, like TikTok, that should really be a video instead of an image. So you might not post to all 4 at once, depending on the content, but you would just connect whatever profiles you have. So we have our Facebook and Instagram linked up. And then I can add more here. And then that just requires a username and password. So we'll do Facebook and Instagram. It did give us a stock image and it wrote the caption, "Enjoy Jack's Backyard Barbecue treats with colleagues." So I think I saw, this one's tailored towards LinkedIn. So they made it more business related. I could change that and say family and friends. I'm actually not going to do it on LinkedIn. I'll do Facebook and Instagram, like I said. There's an AI content generator here. So if you want this rewritten, that's possible. Hashtags allows you to create groups of hashtags that you use consistently across all of your posts. So you could pop those in there. And then you can add more images, videos, or even connect with Vimeo, which is a video hosting platform if you're not familiar. So I think this looks pretty good. But maybe I want to say, I don't like the hashtag in the middle there. Enjoy our award-winning brisket, let's say. Buy one, get one free. And soon, something like that. So really you can change things up as much as you want. I think the picture is fine. Maybe I could switch that up if I wanted, but for the sake of time, I'll just continue and then choose the date to post it. It has the date it suggested. Choose the time. There's a little preview there, and then schedule that out. All right. So we're working our way through this campaign. We're seeing that on the calendar now. Let me show you the text message to answer your question there, Carly. So I can add any campaign, individual campaign, to this overall campaign. And an easy way to do it is here from this channel manager on the right side. So it's showing all the different things that have been created so far. But then I can add more to this. And that little channel manager is on every campaign. So if you don't want to start here, if you're really just trying to nail down these specific dates, I could create one email myself and then add on from that right toolbar. So there's kind of different flows to do it. But then from here, it's created some text messages, posts, and emails, just kind of based on my industry and general account information. And then I could add, maybe I'll do that same prompt that I had earlier. So we put that. I'll also put, we're offering a buy one, get one free brisket entree. SMS message to my audience. Probably want to go with complete sentences, but we're just doing a quick example here. So then I'd create that. Come down. Let's see what it made for us. Let's go with this. So it says buy one, get one free brisket, limited time offer. Add that. So that'll pull up in our SMS editor here, which if you just manually want to create a text message, that's over here under the channels under SMS. But we have a whole webinar on this. So there's kind of a lot that goes into setting it up. But once you have it set up, it'll have your sender name filled in for you. It'll have your message. I could edit this. If I don't want the emoji, that'll take out some of the characters. There's an AI content generator here. I can personalize it, add a link, add a different emoji, and then schedule it. And then maybe this one could also go out tomorrow with that email. So I could do the 6th at 11 a.m. And then these are all my lists that have phone numbers to text. So just choose the list and schedule that. And that'll send the text message to them. All right. I do want to quickly show you how to remove something as well. So maybe I'll just go back to this view. I like this linear view. The calendar's nice too to see it all laid out, but then it's also good, I think, to see this flow. So maybe I'm not hosting an event. This will allow me to collect registrations and manage registrations. I can sell tickets through this. Maybe I don't need all that right now. So I could just click on these 3 dots. I could delete it altogether, or I could just remove it from our marketing plan here and use it in the future. So really easy way to take out anything you don't want there. But for the sake of time, I think that's good for this one. I do want to just do one more so you can see what it looks like when there's an example that has a different goal. So let's do that. So I've set this up. Let's say I've scheduled everything, edited everything. I have January's marketing planned. Now I want to plan for, springtime, February, going into March. I want to increase engagement once I have my new customers. So I'll choose that goal. And then the question for this goal is a little different. So it's asking me to describe my content that I want people to engage with. So with this, I could say, I want to share information about the barbecue restaurant and encourage people to follow us on social media. We've posted on Facebook before, but need more presence on Instagram. We have a website where they can find our menu, and I want them to go there. So then time frame, I want this to run after the first one. Maybe I'll give a break and have it run mid-February through the end of March, let's say. And then this suggests email, social posts, and SMS. So we'll do that. Barbecue restaurant, create campaign. And then it's also asking for more information, what specific events or promotions will be included to increase engagement. Do I have any contests, special offers, themed events? I'm going to say we're launching a new menu. We want to ask their favorite dish and share behind the scenes photos. There's a few ideas of what we want for our content, what we want them to engage with. Let's bring that back up. So it's still creating the campaign for us. And loading up here. So going back to your question, Viviana, if you have specific tour dates, then you can just change that date to that specific date. Decide, maybe you send it out a week before the tour date. You could even put that in your little prompting to see if it will work around that for you. You could say, I have a, tour. The first tour date is January 6th. Create a campaign for that. I'm not sure how much it'll take that into account, but something you can try. Okay, so this one, barbecue restaurant engagement boost, 2 emails and 4 social posts is what it suggests. We don't need to go through and edit everything again, but just to kind of see what it gave us. So it suggests on the 16th, an email and social post about the menu. So that's kind of what that looks like there. Has a nice paragraph, and above that, different pictures of things on the menu. And then the post, similar idea, discover our new barbecue menu and share your favorite dish. And then about a week later, some more social posts. And I believe that's about a week, maybe 2 weeks after that. An email midway through the campaign, and then a final engagement wrap-up post at the end of March. If I wanted to add the text messages or an event or anything else, once again, I could click into one of these, start editing it, and add more from the right side. Or I could even come back to campaigns and take a draft I've created before, and I can add it this way as well. So a lot of flexibility, a lot of moving parts. Definitely ask more questions if this is becoming overwhelming. So I would add it to maybe this one I just created. And then go back. And it's in here. Right now it says no date selected because I haven't selected a date. So then I would just come to the schedule page, put in the date, and then it'll be there. Okay, yeah, I see Viviana's follow-up question. The dates are in October 1st through 15th. So you could even set up, the time frame in that initial prompting. Just say, I want this to run from, decide when you want to start promoting it, maybe March through the end of October, or no, it'd probably be before October, through whenever, and then it'll space it out before those dates. And then you can just make sure all the content reflects the dates that you want people to be aware of. So with this, though, I'm choosing a date. Maybe I decide I want this to go out at the beginning before everything else. I don't even have to schedule it. I can just save the draft. Now it's on here. Hop back over here. And we'll see it. So really the main places you're working on are the campaigns tab. And then you can reference everything here. And then you'll also see that calendar you can work with and that toolbar on the right side. So kind of 3 main pages to work with scheduling, editing, and creating these campaigns. You can see now that's here on the 9th. Okay, I was just scrolling through the questions. I don't see any more yet. So let's go ahead and wrap up, and then we can get to a little Q&A time. So start thinking of more questions, type those in, and we can address those after we wrap up. All right, so I'll hop back on so we can summarize everything here together. Now, I do want to let you know about their reporting. So I can't show you this live because we haven't actually sent or posted any of this yet. So I wanted you to see on the slide here a screenshot of kind of what the reporting will look like. So once you've sent, posted, activated everything, you can go into that campaigns tab again, go to that multi-channel tab, and then on the screen here, you can see what it'll look like. So you get some overall results for the campaign kind of at the top. And then beneath each thing, you'll also get, like with emails, you get opens, clicks, unsubscribes, bounces. The posts, you get impressions and reach, I think are the main ones there, and engagement, which is a big goal of everyone's, it sounds like. So you'll get to see the number of engagement as well. So always good to monitor, whether it's seeing those overall numbers or look at each one after it posts or sends and see how it's doing. You can always unschedule things, make tweaks, and reschedule it as long as it hasn't gone out yet. So also something to keep in mind if there's something you want to change, if you're not quite getting the results you're looking for, you do still have that flexibility. But at this point, you're ready to take the information you learned and start building out your own campaign. So a few things to remember. First of all, make sure to harness the strengths of each of those channels. So what we're really talking about here today is that multi-channel approach. So not just email, not just social, trying to bring it all together here at the start of the new year to really start increasing that engagement and getting the word out. And then, to do all that, use those tools I was showing you. It's a really quick and easy way to give yourself a starting point. And then it is really important to, once you have that goal and the prompts, go in and edit everything. So there's still some manual work, but it gives you a lot of opportunity to have something to work with. So you're not starting from scratch. But like I said, it is important to read through it, edit it, and then schedule it out from there. And I do want to let you know we're here to help with all of this. So you're working on this, you're generating campaigns. If you find that you'd like to talk one-on-one with a human about your marketing plan, or just if this is starting to get to be too much, too time consuming, even with some of these shortcuts and tools, there's still too much for you to do. We have different marketing services that can be personalized to fit your needs and goals. So you can meet one-on-one with a marketing coach on a monthly basis where you still do the work, but they'll advise you on everything. Or there's even other options where someone does the work for you. So you're almost hiring your own personal marketer internally from Constant Contact. So I'm going to give us a pop-up here for our professional marketing services. This will slide out from like the bottom left of your screen there. If you click on that, that'll take you to the page with the different options. You can read through. If you're interested in any, there's a little form you can fill out, and then someone will call you and answer any additional questions you have and set you up with that. So if you need any additional support, that's a really great option there. But otherwise, now we do have some time for questions. So I already see another one or two that have come in. So keep typing those in and we'll make sure to get to those. While you're sending those over, another thing I want to tell you about is one of our webinars called Getting Started, Upload Your Contacts and Send Your First Email in Constant Contact. This is good for if you need to maybe take a step back and just figure out how to upload your contacts. It goes more in depth on creating and editing emails, a little bit more of a manual approach, but there's still a lot of time-saving tips in there to help you create your first campaign. So if you're, like I said, you've seen all this and you're like, well, I need to learn how to edit these things first. That's a good one. That one runs, it's like an on-demand type webinar. So it's 5 times a day. So there's a lot of different timing options, but you can still ask questions. So I'm going to do another pop-up for that. And this actually takes you to the page with all our webinars. So we do also have one on the social media tool. one on the texting tool, and one on the events tool. So any one of those you want to dig deeper into, we do have sessions for that as well. And those are all free hour-long sessions. If you can't make the day and time that is posted, that it's scheduled at, still sign up. We'll send you a recording. And then even if you do attend, you also get the recording. So either way, you get that content. What's nice about attending live, even if it's just for, part of it, is you can get those live answers from the presenter. But either way, we provide you that content so you can learn all these different tools. But with that said, let's see what questions we have. Let's see. So Viviana asks, does the creating campaigns have an additional fee? So everyone has access to this campaign builder. The plan you're in determines how many times you can use it, though. So any plan can use it 3 times. And then from there, if you want to keep going, you can upgrade. If you're in our highest plan, the premium plan, then you can use it unlimited number of times. So there's just a little bit of limits there, but anyone can at least go in and try it out and just see how it works for you and what it builds out. Preeti asks, can you show us specific to an industry, for example, real estate? Does Constant Contact give ideas on different types of emails to send out every 2 weeks? I have a newsletter that I send out that I want to convert to a social and LinkedIn campaign. I want people who read it to also be added to my email list. Yeah, so let me show you a few things for that. Let me pull back up the account here. And I'll make the screen a little bigger again. So if you already have a newsletter that you've created and sent, what you could actually do is, let's find one. I'll just use this. Pretend this is a newsletter. So I've created my newsletter. And then I continue. When I'm scheduling it, I can actually also have it post to social media. So let's see. Maybe I'm sending it out, next Monday. Choose the list and schedule it. Once it's scheduled, we can click into it. And then you'll see it says share on social here in the top right. From here, you just connect your, social pages. You can add an image. And then what it does is it automatically puts a link to the email. So you would want to write out a caption. You don't want to just post a random link. So you could come into this AI. And then what's really cool about this is you can have it read or, scan the content of your email and summarize it into a caption. So then you don't even have to try to, rewrite something or try to think about what you want to say after you've just gone through and wrote a whole email. You choose the tone, enthusiastic, let's say, summarize. And then it usually does like a longer caption, couple shorter ones. And there you go. So now it has the caption, the link to the email, and then you can add your own pictures and things like that. Now, the reason why it's giving me this message is links aren't clickable in Instagram captions. So it's just warning me that people won't actually be able to click on this in the caption on Instagram. So then this link is a web page version of the email. And I wonder if I have a sent one that I could show you. On that web page version, it does put an option. Let's try this one. It provides an option for them to sign up for your list. So details. That link you can just grab. It's always right here if you want to like post it anywhere else. And that opened on a different screen. So let me pull it over. It has join our email list right there at the top. And then it's like a web page version of the email. And then they can even share it on Facebook and X. So I think that rereading your question, does that address everything? I think that'll really help, just getting it on social media. And then if people are reading it, that option is right here. They can just fill in their information and get added. You could also, this is kind of, generic. If you wanted to create your own sign up form landing page, you can do that over here. And then create a sign up landing page. And then you could actually put the link to that in the body of your email, maybe somewhere towards the bottom, and say, would you like to get these newsletters on a regular basis? Sign up here. And then it'll link to, here's an example. You can customize it with like colors and your logo and all of that. Yeah, Preeti asks, following up on the Instagram, if it says they can't click the link, then how do I put the link in? Is it only in a story? Yeah, you could put it in a story, or you could put it in your bio potentially, or you could create, I don't know if you're familiar with like Linktree. So you could create a Linktree, which is like a standalone web page. You can actually create Linktree like landing pages in here too, a custom landing page. And then maybe you list out like your most recent emails on this Linktree. People go to your bio and can access them from there. But I think a story would be a good one. Good way to do it if you're just wanting to like, spur of the moment, or want them to see it right away. And so for the sign up forms, Preeti asks, do I need my own website? There are options for websites like a pop-up form, and you can like embed a form on a website. But in terms of these landing pages, you don't need your own website. This is a standalone web page that's hosted on Constant Contact. So you get a link to this. It's its own live web page, and you can post that and share it wherever you want. And that's always a really good one to start with if you don't have a website. Good for social media. All right, all good questions. I think I got to all of them. If there's any last ones, feel free to. Yeah, Preeti asks, is that included in my plan? Yes, the landing pages are, and the sharing on social is. All of that everyone should have access to. Great. All right. Well, if you do think of any other questions, feel free to check out our help center. You can click the question mark icon in the top right of your account. That'll bring you to some tutorials, FAQs. You can get back to that webinar page to sign up for more webinars. There's also on-demand, just recorded versions if you want to just watch a recording. Our support team is great. You can call or chat them, or there's something called Ask a Trainer where you can hop into like a Google meeting and work one-on-one with someone. So check all those things out. And then one final note, there's going to be a quick survey that pops up when the webinar closes out. If you have another minute or two, I'd love to hear your feedback. I read through every single one of those responses, so I always love to hear what you think. But otherwise, let me see if there's any last questions. Not seeing any others. Viviana says, nice training, thanks. You're definitely welcome. So I will close out. If you have time to take that survey, that'd be great. But otherwise, have a good rest of your day.